What's going on YouTube? Today I'm going to show you guys in this video 3 ways that we try to be more efficient on the farm to save time and money. The first one is going to be our spray trucks and how we've had to come up with some creative ways in order to cover the amount of ground faster so we can get things done in a timely fashion. Second would be saving money on our nursery, which I'll explain later. And third, this is something I can guarantee no one has ever seen on this platform. It's a homegrown built machine. You guys have to stick around to the end of the video to see it. So we have our organic truck here. It has 2 engines, one on the front, one on the back. The front one runs the vehicle forward and reverse, everything just like a car. And then we have a whole separate rear engine here that runs the fan. So now we're sitting inside of the organic spray truck here. This half of the dash, as well as this center console, tells you everything that's going on in the truck: fuel, battery power, temperature, oil pressure, speed, RPMs. And then these gauges here are for the rear engine. Also, this is our spray computer that makes sure that we spray a consistent rate while applying. So the advantage of having these bigger trucks, which we have 7 of them up north and 3 more in our southern farm, the advantage of them is being able to travel and spray at a faster rate, covering the ground quicker. These trucks hold a 750 gallon tank, which can spray up to 60 acres of traditional, taller, fully grown cherry trees, and any smaller, younger trees that can shut down a couple of nozzles and go further and end up spraying about 90 acres a tank, which is very efficient for us. Hey, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, please consider liking and subscribing down below. Also, I'd love it if anyone would leave comments, questions, or anything you would like to say or share, and I'd love to answer it here on the channel.
Hey, ¿qué pasa, YouTube? Now it's driving forklift, okay?
We've also had about a week and a half of some pretty good weather. And with that, it means the grounds are starting to dry out a little bit here in the spring. And so we have to get going on our irrigation. We got the main well going in the high density apples, and we're running out new line in the trees that we planted last fall and checking over all the old existing lines and blowing them out and make sure there's no gunk that could potentially get stuck in the trickle line. So I got this valve running right now. What I'm gonna do is turn this one on our Premier Honeycrisp block here. Manual. So that we can switch the water over and I can cap the end of the Honeycrisp line after it blows out. As you can see, it's really blowing out some crud and grass and whatever else got down into the open hole over the winter. I'm gonna wait for a little bit more pressure here before I try to put this cap on. So we're not got the desired pressure we're looking for. I'm going to try and get this cap on here without getting too wet. Of course, I can't find the thread. Oh my gosh. Okay. Whew. Thought I was going to get soaked there. One of the easiest ways for us to save money on the farm right off the bat is at the start of an orchard. For most growers, you go out, you order your trees, they show up, you plant them. But for us, it starts in our own nursery, which we have here today. We go through, we plant our own rootstocks, and then we top work the trees over and let them grow, and then we'll come back and dig them up and replant them in their orchard, where they'll be for the next 20 to 25 years, depending on the quality of life of the tree. We planted these M106 rootstock for apples that we're going to top work over to Ida Red here in the fall. They planted about 1.5 feet apart and also 9 feet wide. Now to water them, we have some drip tape irrigation that goes in with the trees while we planted them. I have some great footage of that, of the whole planting process, that I'll show you guys. And also we have this flat blue hose that you're able to run over, which also ties into the irrigation from this cherry orchard here on the side. So you can tell that the top of the soil looks pretty darn dry, but as we dig down under, you see right away that the drip tape that's in with the roots is keeping the soil perfectly moist. So here I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the nursery planting process. We have 4 guys sitting on the planter with the trees in front of them. We have the drip tape irrigation line that's unrolling from behind them on both sides, followed by a couple of the guys stomping in the trees, making sure they're straight and planted at the correct depth. We planted 10,000 M106 rootstock this day in about 4 hours total, and like I mentioned earlier, how we end up saving more money by doing our own nursery is that we can grow these trees ourselves for 1/3 of the cost as buying them from under a different nursery. So finally we've arrived at the third way that we can be more efficient on the farm, the hedger. It's been converted from a 1980 GMC school bus chassis to what you see here in front of you. 4 sickle bars attached to it in order to cut 2 rows at the same time. Now it's more efficient because we don't have to return down the same row and cut the other side of the tree. So we're sitting here in the hedger. It's got 2 parts to it. The truck runs on 2 motors. We have the front motor side with your ignition, wipers, lights, fan, battery, temperature, oil pressure, and it's got air brakes, so that's your air pressure. Here's your actual air brakes here. And this left side has its own separate key, oil, temperature, battery, and then the RPMs for the motor in the back itself. This is the control panel for everything that goes on in the back. This goes up and down, and these buttons here are how you're moving all of the back arms in and out, and these 4 buttons up top here are the cutters. And you can go one way or the other, and it chooses which way the blades cut. Now we hedge trees for 3 main reasons. The first one is to help set the crop. The second one is to promote canopy growth, and the third one is to keep the aisles of the rows clean of branches leaning down, because when they bear fruit, the fruit hangs into the row and then it gets hit by tractors and spray trucks, damaging the fruit and the vehicles themselves. So to sum up the video, with all 3 of these ways that I've shown you today that we try and be more efficient on the farm, they go by saving time, and when you save time, you save money. And that's what we try to be more efficient at on the farm in order to continue to do what we do.